Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Memories of Murder. And this movie came out in 2003 and is directed by Bong Joon-ho, the same director as Parasite and Mickey 17. Those are his two most recent movies. And Parasite, I absolutely love, probably my favorite from everything he's made. And Mickey 17, I really enjoyed. And he also did The Host from 2006, Mother from 2009, and then he did Snowpiercer, and then Okja. And I have never seen this one before, and I've seen everything that he's made, that he directed, his feature-length films, except for his first feature film, that being Barking Dogs Never Bite. That's the only one I haven't seen yet. And I honestly can't believe it took me this long to watch this one, because after watching it, I really loved it, and it's easily my favorite since watching Parasite. Like, as I was watching, I was like really connecting with it, and I just didn't want it to end. Those 2 hours flew by for me, and the movie just never stopped being compelling to me. It had really great music, and from what I could tell, the acting was really great, and the characters were very well defined, and I like seeing the progression of these characters as the story goes along, and it does get pretty stressful and suspenseful at points. And there's one scene in particular that is early on in the film when a crime scene is being investigated and it's all in one take. And I thought that looked pretty excellent. And the movie looked great overall. And the interrogation scenes I really enjoyed. And just watching these characters trying to figure out who this guy is really interesting. And never once felt like they were just making it up as they went along. It always felt like, oh, this is a big mystery, a big problem. It's getting very stressful because no one knows how to properly do this. And one thing that I really noticed about Bong Joon-ho films after watching this one in particular is that his movies are really great with world building. Like, you really get a good understanding of the world that this movie takes place in, and everything just feels like a natural part of the story. And when things happen, if it's a little bit unconventional for, I guess, the average viewer, you can believe it because it makes sense in the universe in which this movie is taking place in. Because of how everything is presented, it just makes sense within this universe. And that's something that I just really loved about it and really got out of it. And honestly, I can never get enough of. And I kind of like how the two main characters were done in this movie and what they kind of, in a way, represented. But I can't really get into that because I don't want to spoil anything. But I will say that they're very interesting characters, and the way they work throughout the story really made things compelling for me. And honestly, I really love how this movie wrapped up without spoiling anything. And I had very few criticisms along the way, and each scene moves the story forward. I never once felt as though any particular scene was dragging the movie down. It was all consistently great for the most part. And again, to my criticism, so with this movie, which is very minor, that would be some editing was a bit choppy in one sequence that was supposed to be very intense. And aside from the choppy editing in that scene, which it was just a few too many cuts, I thought it was an excellent scene, and it honestly reminded me of The Lost World Jurassic Park, to be perfectly honest. Like, I was thinking about that movie a little bit. But I wouldn't say it was like ripping it off. It was definitely doing its own thing with it. There were no shots that were exactly the same as that movie, but I will say that it reminded me of it because of the way things were done. That's the closest I can talk about it without spoiling anything. And there was one particular part of this movie that was like 10 seconds long where the action was like kind of poorly filmed. It was just like close-ups, and you couldn't really make out where characters were walking towards or from. And it was just a little poor in my opinion. And there's also one tiny nitpick that I have of the movie involving an injury, but aside from that, I don't really have any other criticisms with this movie. It was thoroughly compelling. It had the guy from Parasite in it. It was also in a couple of other Bong Joon-ho movies like The Host, and I think he was also in Snowpiercer. He was really great in this movie. And also, like all of Bong Joon-ho movies, or at least from memory, this movie is able to balance out serious and comedic tones. Not that this movie is always trying to make you laugh, but when it does try to be comedic, it's surprisingly always effective for me, and it was pretty funny at times when it was trying to be funny. And that's about all I have to say about Memories of Murder without getting into spoilers. I would love to talk about this movie a lot more in depth, but that requires me to get into spoilers, which I'm not going to do here. Just watch the movie. I really love it. I think just about anyone can watch it, and if you're afraid of it being super violent, like the violence is mostly just off-screen or just implied, which in ways I guess is a bit more horrifying. But still, it didn't detract from the experience. If anything, it enhanced the experience, because having things being left up to your imagination or just leaving up to your own mind is what makes these things terrifying. So that was a good choice. And I just couldn't recommend this movie enough. And this is probably my second or third favorite Bong Joon-ho film. Parasite probably my favorite, and Mother at a close second, and this is also competing there. But I would have to watch these movies again to really figure out which ones I like best. But this one's pretty high up there. Don't really have any huge complaints with it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Memories of Murder a 9 out of 10. A high 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Memories of Murder, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for A House of Dynamite. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.